Looks good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm sure there will be some people popping in over the next few minutes. But I just wanted to start by thanking everybody so much for taking time out of their day to join us. This is going to be a really short, informational kind of presentation on what it takes to become a travel agent, at least from the perspective of becoming an elf. So different agencies would obviously have different ways of doing things. So I'm going to tell you about how it works to become a travel elf and work from home as a travel agent. My name's Beth Foss. For those of you that don't know me, I'm president and chief magic officer at My Travel Elf and MTE Vacations. And I'm sure you've got a zillion questions. I'm going to try and cover as much as humanly possible, but I set my timer for 30 minutes. So I promise you I'm going to stick to that hard stop at 30 minutes. But there's no way I'm going to be able to get through everything. So I'm just going to go through the questions that I have in like a Q&A format as quickly as I can. My goal is to answer the big questions so that if you're trying to decide if this is something that maybe you want to look into further, then you'll know based on what I tell you in the next few minutes if it's really something you want to keep investigating. Tomorrow, probably, you'll get a link to the recording of this video, and then you'll also get more detailed information on everything that we talk about this evening and more. And I guess the only other thing I should tell you is that we do have some members of the management team on this evening. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box and they'll try to answer them as we go. Whatever we don't get to, I'll address those extra questions tomorrow in the email that goes out. You'll also get information on how to contact us if you think of more questions. And finally, how to move ahead if you think this is definitely something that you want to do. So I'm going to do this, like I said, in sort of a Q&A kind of situation based on the questions that I've been asked a million times by people who have wanted to join us or people that are just kind of curious about what we do and how we do it. First question I get a lot, and one of the questions somebody sent in advance, what does a travel agent do and what's an average day like? I could talk for like an hour and a half on what a travel agent does, and there is no average day. We have 20, I think 21, 22 agents right now. I lose count sometimes. Every single person's situation is completely different. Some of them are single, some are married, some have grown kids, some have little kids. Some people have a full-time or part-time job and do this on the side. Some people retired and now this is like a second career for them. Some of us, this is the career and this is all we do. So the great thing about it is that it's your business. And so you set it up however it works for you. So if you've got medical issues that require you to go to therapy or dialysis or whatever, that's fine. You set up your hours around those needs. If you've got kids that you've got to pick up from school or take to soccer practice, you just work around them. Some people like me just kind of work 7 days a week. Not anything I would recommend to anybody, but however it works best for you. And as I said, there is no average day. As far as what we do, yeah, we book people, but the big thing is we listen. So people come to us and say, I want to fill in the blank. We listen to what they say, we ask a zillion questions, and we listen to their answers. And then based on those answers, we try to find things that fit what they're asking for. And we do that by going to our suppliers and hitting up all the resources that we have. When we finally find the right thing, we put it all together, we get it booked, we manage the payments. We answer questions along the way. We keep everything else on track. We remind our clients about things like passports or filling out forms to get them back to a tour company or whatever. Ultimately, we deliver the final documents. And I wish I could say that was the end of it, but it hardly ever is. You really can't say that you're finished with a trip until your client gets back home. So I've gotten up, set my alarm for 2 a.m. to make sure that a flight gets out on time. I've had people call me in the middle of the night saying, my flight's canceled, what am I going to do? So, yeah, we are kind of like your travel mama. We try to anticipate all the problems you could possibly have and find solutions for them. But if you still get stuck anyway, you just call us and then we fix it for you. So, that's what a travel agent does, a short version. How many hours a week does it take? Well, like I said, as many as you care to put in. If you do part-time hours, you get part-time pay. What can I say? If you're trying to make, $40,000 or $50,000 a year, that's probably going to be full-time hours. But they can be evenings, weekends, you know, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, again, whatever works for you. But if you only put 5 hours a week into it, then you're going to get more like pocket change. Maybe you get enough to cover a vacation for yourself. So part-time hours gets part-time income. Pretty obvious, I guess. Um, do I need a license or degree to be a travel agent? Believe it or not in the United States. Almost every other country in the world requires travel agents to go to school and be certified to do the job. In the US, nobody cares. You can print some business cards and hang up a sign, and you're a travel agent. Um, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but that's all it takes here, which is kind of scary and what gives the industry sometimes a bad rap, because there are a lot of people out there who think that's all it takes. So we really encourage our agents to get accredited. There are a bunch of accreditations out there. We want you to be a well-rounded travel agent because it just makes you solid, more confident, and better able to do your job. We don't want people who are just messing around and aren't taking it seriously. Can I work with my spouse or friend as a partnership? Yeah, absolutely. We have four, I think four pairs of spouse teams. Almost always there's somebody who's really good at stuff, like really good at numbers and the spreadsheets and the admin kind of stuff. And then there's the other person who's really good with the people and they love doing the research and putting together the trips, but they don't want to have anything to do with the paperwork. So those husband-wife teams or friend teams work out really, really well. But if you don't both join as travel agents, then we can only consider one of you to be the agent. If you want to have a sidekick that just kind of helps you invisibly, that's fine. But if you want your partner to be able to come to like all the conferences and all the elf stuff, then you need to both become travel agents and at least learn the basics, which will honestly make it easier for both of you to do whatever the roles are, however you decide to split them up. Where do clients come from? I would love to say the stork brings them, if it were only that easy, but no storks. Most of our clients honestly come from referrals. I've been doing this for a really, really, really long time, and I would say 80% of the people that I work with now were referred to me by somebody else. So I don't have to do any advertising. I'm not out networking at local, the Rotary Club or anything. I don't have time to do that because I've got so many clients, like I'm really happy. And I've actually started taking some of my clients and passing them off to the other agents. So that's a second way that you can get clients. If somebody's really busy or going on vacation, they might ask you to take somebody off their hands. for them, maybe just a one-off, maybe permanently. Sometimes we get agents that get requests like, can you help me with a trip to China? And maybe that's something totally out of your wheelhouse and you're not comfortable with it. So you can refer it off to one of our other agents. Still get a referral fee for bringing that client in first. So you're at least getting a little income from that, but you don't have to take it on. So a big part of what we do is to try and help you find those new clients. We have a great direct mail program through our consortium. What else? We've got a new website coming that should really help because it's going to tie into a nationwide marketing system from the consortium, from Travel Leaders. Our host has some really good programs. We do some stuff with suppliers where they're actually paying for mail pieces and putting them into the mail for us. So we don't actually touch them. We just send them the mail list and say, please send that piece to these people. And they do all the work for us and they pay for it. So yeah, there are a lot of ways to do it. And that's one of the things we try to do is help you find those clients, because honestly, that is the most difficult part for a new agent. Can I start booking people right away? Technically, yes. Like I said, you don't need any kind of a license or officially any kind of training. So, yeah, believe it or not, if you wanted to start calling yourself a travel agent right now and booking people, you could totally do that. Wouldn't recommend it though. What we strongly suggest is that you spend the first couple of weeks kind of getting your ducks in a row, like learn the CRM where we keep all our information, how to build a client record, how to book a cruise with your favorite cruise lines, learn your way around some of our different tools and resources, kind of find your footing. And then when you feel ready, then you can start booking people. So maybe that takes you 2 weeks, maybe it takes you 2 months. It's whenever you feel comfortable, you can move ahead. How are home-based independent contractors different from salaried agents in an office setting? The obvious answer is the home-based agents are at home and the salaried agents in an office are sitting behind a desk in an office. But the bigger difference is the ones that are sitting in an office are they're getting the salary every other week or whatever their pay schedule is, they're getting a paycheck and it's for a certain amount. So nobody's checking to see how many sales they made. They just wanted to make sure, like, were you at work on time and did you do your job? Obviously, if you're not pulling your weight on sales, you might not last very long. But the big thing is they need bodies in chairs so that when people come in off the street or wherever those people come from, then there's somebody there to take care of them. But then you're going to have a boss and you're going to be reporting to someone. It's a full-blown job where you work for someone else, as opposed to being an independent contractor, still a job for sure, but you work for yourself. It's your business, your company, you do it the way you want to. The downside of that is that if you sleep in until 10 every morning, take a leisurely lunch break and a really long siesta followed by afternoon tea, by the end of the day, you're not going to have anything done. So you have to be really self-disciplined. And in the end, you only get paid for the bookings that you make. We're paid by commission, and I'll go into that in a few minutes, but we get commission. So if you don't book anything, you don't make anything. So that's the biggest difference. Mandatory things that are needed to get started. You need a desktop or a laptop computer. I've seen people try to be professional travel agents using a phone, and I will tell you, it doesn't work. Yes, theoretically, you can make reservations on your phone, maybe even your tablet, but it is such a pain. They did not design those systems to be used on teeny weeny little screens. So you really need a laptop or desktop computer, and you need good, strong, reliable internet access all the time. You need a phone. You need to be a legal US citizen with the right to work in this country. We require that you be 21 or older, and we require that you be willing to subject yourself to a background check. Not that we'll necessarily do it, but you have to be willing for us to do a background check on you, and you can't have any felonies in your past. So that's it. Nothing, no big major requirements. The big takeaway from that whole section is that this is a job for sure. It's not a hobby. If you approach it like a hobby, that's what you're going to get out of it. And then you're going to be really disappointed. It's a job. And I think everybody in it absolutely loves the industry. We love what we do, but the frustrations are real, just like any other job. We have really bad days sometimes. We have suppliers that won't return calls. We have suppliers with the worst computer systems ever. Yeah, I've had agents calling, crying, like on more occasions than I would like to think, just because they're so frustrated. So I'm not trying to make it sound bad. I'm just trying to make the point that it's a job like any other job, and you need to kind of think of it that way. You're working, but working from home, and you really, really need to be self-disciplined. Oh my gosh. If you are the kind of person who cannot be self-motivated and just find a little corner of your house, shut the door, lock yourself in and work, it's going to be tough for you, because I've seen moms sit at lunch or breakfast tables, that eat in kitchens, and they've got 3-year-olds hanging off their legs and they're trying to work. I was one of those people for a really long time, and it is so hard to make it happen that way. So yeah, it's a really fun business to be in, but it's work. Next group of questions falls under training. How do I learn everything I need to know? The fact is, there are a zillion resources online. Most of them are probably available to you right now, but it's really hard for you to know, if you're not in the industry, which ones are reliable, which ones are accurate, when they've been last updated. Some of these websites, I'm just shocked. They're still talking about masks and the little COVID cards and stuff. No, that hasn't been updated for a really long time. So yeah, the information's out there, but it's just hard to sift through. So what we try to do is make it easier. We know where all that information is. All our agents are really supportive of each other. If you've got questions and you post it in the Facebook group, it's really rare that somebody doesn't answer you back within a half hour, sometimes a lot faster than that. Somebody's always watching, and all the people who have been doing it for a while want to see all the new people succeed. It's one of the things I am most proud of with this group of people. It's not a competition. When somebody lands a big sale, we all applaud them. We all celebrate when somebody gets, like wins a free trip or something, or passes a certification. What's good for one is good for everybody, and not just in our group, but for the industry as a whole. So we don't see each other as competition. We see people going direct to the suppliers as our competition, and people booking things online as our competition. So we will help you find all those online resources, get you the phone numbers for your business development managers, for whatever suppliers you need. We will get that information into your hands, and we will guide you through the massive quantity of information that's out there, so you're not spinning your wheels and trying to figure it all out for yourself. Ongoing education. Yes, we do have ongoing education. Like I said, so much information, constantly changing. Our suppliers, our host, our consortium, even a lot of the destinations, like the Bahamas, the Dominican Republic, Ireland, they all have their own programs just for the travel industry, specifically geared to travel agents. So we do online trainings, we do live webinars, we go to regional meetings. You can sign up for digital or hard copy magazines. There are probably 8 or 10 of them maybe, and you can have them sent to your house if you want. They're all free, or you can read them online, whatever works better for you. We hold monthly agency meetings. We bring in supplier reps for private presentations just for us, so that rep can specifically address our particular situation, and so much more. So lots and lots and lots of continuing education possibilities, both from home and out and about as well. Can't I do this on my own? Yep, like I said, absolutely, you can. But I did it on my own a really long time ago, and I promise you, it is so hard. It can be done, but I find it a terrible waste of time to have to read through 10 things to find the information that you want. And being a lone wolf just isn't an efficient way to work. Plus, it's really lonely when you're working at home and you don't get out to see people. It gets really, really lonely. So yeah, for a lot of reasons that I don't really have time to go into, you can do it on your own, but it's not a great idea. What if I'm only interested in selling certain destinations? Not a problem. We have some people who only do Disney and Universal, kind of how we started out a really long time ago, 20 whatever years ago. And if that's all you want to do, that's fine. All I request is that everybody make an effort to be a well-rounded travel agent in the most basic sense. If you don't want to book air, that's okay. If you don't want to book cruises, that's fine, but you should at least know something about them and how it all works so that you can intelligently answer the questions. The goal is that I want you to have a focus or a niche or several of them, because it's your choice, knowing everything you choose to focus on these things, not because it's the only thing you know how to do. So yes, we have a few people who only do certain things, but they are finding over time that it's really in their best interest and the best interest of their clients that they expand a little. So up to you. We support whatever you want to do. It's your business. But yeah, sometimes it helps to be a little more open-minded, at least to the idea of maybe looking at some other things too. How do we train agents? So we used to have a system, just kind of phasing it out right now, where a new person would come to us and I would do this kind of chat on the phone one-on-one with the person. And then if they sounded good, we get them all signed up. We have an agent success manager in charge of onboarding, among other things, and Diane gets them all set up. And then we would assign them a mentor. So we call the existing kind of senior agents, those are our elves, and the newbies are sprites. So they're like little magical people. And we train them how to be big magical people. There are a lot of really good things to be said for that one-on-one training, but usually these people were not somebody you could see face to face in most cases. They usually don't even live in the same state as you do. And yeah, I think sometimes it is just difficult for the new people to ask for what they needed because you don't know what you don't know. So we're changing it up, and next month we're going to start our first class of agents, the first cohort, and put everybody who's interested all together as a group so that everybody can help work with each other. We're going to set up a little chat room online so all the new people have a place to go, and the existing agents can then come in and help answer questions and hold Q&A sessions, that kind of stuff. But we have a written syllabus, like step by step by step, that will take you through everything. So you don't have to wonder what you should be doing. We're just going to tell you, here it is, the entire list in a logical order. this is what you need to do and how you need to do it. And you go at your own pace, but we will be there to answer the questions and help guide you through it. What if I've been an agent for years and just want a new situation? Totally cool. We've got a few of those too. Things change. Sometimes you just find what you're doing right now doesn't work for you anymore, and that's okay. We get it. We've had a couple people over the years, not too many, but a few, who have left us because our situation doesn't work for them. And we've also got existing agents who have come to us from other places. So that's fine. If you're an existing agent and you really know your stuff, you've been doing this for a long time, we do still want you to do all the training, but we can get you up and running really, really fast, like within a few days, and get you booking. So if you don't need as much hand-holding, that's okay. You still have to go through the motions, but you get sort of fast-tracked based on your experience. Let's see, income. So I hate talking about income because, like I said, this is really fun job. And I can't tell you how many times I've been working out on my balcony on a ship, or last month I was working on our balcony in Athens watching a protest in front of Parliament. It was actually kind of funny. The places that we get to work are crazy, and it's almost, you feel bad calling it work, but it actually is. When we go on these trips, we run around like crazy people trying to get all this information together. And this is work for us. It's a business and we need to make money. It's the only thing I do. I have to keep a roof over my head and food on the table. So I get it. You need to know how to make money in this. So we make money from commission from suppliers. We get it from charging planning fees directly to the client, and we get paid from doing like bonus commissions from the suppliers, or sometimes their incentives. You know, if you book 3 whatevers, they'll send you a gift card for $100 or something like that. Mostly though, it's commission from suppliers. So the question that always comes right after that is, well, so does that mean that if somebody uses a travel agent, they're going to pay more than they would if they just went direct, or if they booked it online? Almost never is the answer. Some of the biggest names online, I won't mention them, but they're really big names that everybody's heard of. They're with the same consortium that we are. They are getting those same great rates that we are. We're not as big. We don't do everything online. We've got more of a personal thing going, but we've got the same group space booked. We've got the same business reps. We've got the same deals that they have. So no, you are not going to pay more if you go to a travel agent. In fact, you'll probably pay the same or less. And when I say that you pay the same, think about that for a minute. If it's going to cost you $200 to book a hotel room, whether you book it straight with the hotel or with a travel agent, where does that extra money go? If they're ready to send the travel agency $20, well, they get to keep it. That's where it goes. You're still paying the commission. It's just that the hotel gets to keep it. So if nothing else, you're helping out a small business. But really, there are so many cases where we've got these amazing offers that your friends and family and other clients would not have access to if they weren't going through a travel agent. So yeah, no, they're not going to pay more. And yeah, I've got like 1 minute, and I don't think I'll get all through this, but I'll go really fast. Do I get to keep all the commission on my bookings? No, there's actually a cost to running a travel agency and a cost to all the administrative stuff that we do. So there's a commission split, but your time is worth money too. So all these things have to be done, whether you're doing it or the agency's doing it for you. If you have to pay a little bit to have somebody else do it for you, but it frees you up to do something that makes you more, then that's actually a really good use of your money. So yeah, we start a 75% commission split, 75-25, and it actually goes up from there. So the more you sell, the bigger split that you get. So yeah, and that's a pretty generous one. I know there are agencies out there that start by giving the new kids 30%. I would say 50% is probably the norm, but we start everybody at 75%. You get the commission after the client travels, and usually about 2 weeks after we get it, as long as there aren't any problems holding it up. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you book a $100,000 cruise today, but it doesn't sail for a year, really nice commission headed your way, but you don't get it until after they travel. So you do all the work now, and then you wait and you pray that they don't cancel. And if they do cancel, then you wipe it all out, you don't make a dime, and you start all over. And that's how that works. During COVID, most of us worked for about 2.5 years and made nothing, like zero. So it was crazy. Fortunately, that's never going to happen again. Positive thinking. How much can you make? Our top producers can pull over 100,000 a year. The average full-time agent is making probably 30 to 50,000 a year. Again, that's full-time hours. Most of the part-timers are probably making between 5 and 15,000 a year. So like I said, maybe you can pay for your own vacation as a part-timer, can sure pay for Christmas gifts or something. And you are going to get some benefits being an agent. So that's something. We do not provide health insurance, and we don't withhold taxes because you're an independent contractor and it's your business. So we just pay you like we would paying somebody to paint the house. Same idea. So you have to keep track of your own taxes, and you get a 1099 at the end of the year. And the other thing that everybody wants to know is travel benefits. No, we do not get to travel for free, sadly. Even if they tell you you just want a free cruise, free is never free. I can't even tell you how many free cruises I've taken that cost me thousands of dollars, because you still have to get there, and you have to get there the day before. So you need a hotel and you need to pay taxes and gratuities and whatever. So free is not free, but that is not to say that there aren't some amazing deals out there for us. You can earn your travel agent ID, which is pretty much all you need to do for most suppliers, or sometimes the ID plus a little training. And then you get access to agent rates. And that means you start getting like hotels at agent rates. I pretty much always stay at 5-star hotels now. That Athens hotel, I think it starts around $650 a night. And my cost was right about $300. So 50% off. Done a lot of cruises for $200 a day, maybe. Just to give you an idea, for like a balcony with everything included, with drinks and the whole bit. So some of the agent benefits can be really, really, really nice, but yeah, hardly ever free. Fortunately, there are a lot of hosted events you can go to. Sometimes if you're really, really good at selling something, then like a destination will fly you in as one of their top 50 producers. They'll pay for your ticket and your hotel and wine and dine you for a few days, but those things are kind of rare. So you don't get into this business because you want the free travel. It just doesn't work that way. And last but not least, the startup costs and how do you get into this? For us, we do it really inexpensively. $300 is what we collect up front, and that's it. $300. And once you've paid your $300, that gets you into the training. You can split it up into multiple payments if you want to, but we can't actually start you until you're paid in full, because it actually costs us a couple $100 just to get you rolling and everything. So you may have some extra expenses for local business license or state license, things like that. And we'll talk you through it, but they're usually nominal. I think my county license is $10 a year. something like that. So not a big deal. And then you might want to get your own E&O insurance or umbrella policy or something like that. Again, not mandatory, but we can talk to you about that later. There are some additional expenses if you choose to do them for your business, like business cards or I don't know, we have all kinds of things in our agent store, like tchotchke things that you can give to clients, everything from lip gloss and pens to some nicer things, some packing cubes and stuff like that. Linda, I have some stuff to send you. Gonna send you some My Travel Elf tchotchkes. Um, let's see what else. I wanna wrap this up because I promised you. I guess the only other things, can I quit or be fired? Yes, of course, you can quit at any time. You know, it's your business. If you want to quit, quit. The fee's non-refundable, but you can quit anytime you want to. And yes, we can let you go too. Normally, the only reason we would let somebody go is if they're just not being productive. They've been around for a couple of years and they're just not selling. In which case they can start paying their own expenses instead of making the agency do it, and maybe they could stay. But usually if they're not succeeding after 18 months or 2 years, this isn't a good place for them anyway. They need to go do something else where they do better. Um, if you leave, your clients you get to keep them. Unlike other travel agencies, we do not keep your clients. They are yours. So you take them with you if you move to another agency. And yeah, the only other thing to tell you is that tomorrow you're going to get a link, like I said, to this recording. I just have to upload it to YouTube in case you want to go through and re-listen to something. You will also get an email address where you can send questions if you have more questions. I'm going to send you a much bigger document with a lot more kind of tedious information, the ins and outs, like the whole E&O insurance thing and stuff like that, and state licensing and travel planner fees and that kind of stuff, so that you've got a better idea of what's going on. But based on this information that I've gone over tonight, hopefully that's enough for you to decide whether or not this is something that you want to keep looking into or not. One of the other things that we will be sending you is a form. So if you do decide that you want to move ahead, then you fill it all out and you'll start working with Diane and she'll do all the onboarding, and then we'll get you started. I can't remember. I want to say it's Wednesday, September 18th is the day that we are hoping to start this class. And again, everything will get recorded. So if you can't come on that day, that's fine. Everything will always be recorded so you can look at it on your own time, but that's the goal. And only because we have our agency annual meeting in New Orleans in a couple weeks, followed by our host conference. So we are all going to be tied up in New Orleans. I think there are like, can't remember, 15, 16 people, something like that, going to New Orleans, which is pretty cool to have, 3/4 of the group able to make it. But if you have any questions, like I said, watch for that email tomorrow and get them in. And again, I will. Oh, how long is the next cohort training, and will there be another one starting in a different month? Yeah, we'll probably start another one in the spring because we want to work the kinks out of this one. So we'll start this one on the 18th for everybody that's paid up and filled out all the paperwork and stuff, and we'll get you all registered so you have access to all the booking engines and everything, and we will start getting you trained, and probably within a couple weeks, you can start playing around with stuff. If you know you want to book a cruise for yourself or something, you can start doing that. Oh, that's another benefit. I didn't even mention that. If you are doing something yourself, that's considered education. In most cases, it's tax deductible for you. It's a business expense because you're learning. And we let you keep 100% of the commission that comes into the agency If you're the lead passenger on the booking, you get to keep all that commission because we want you to travel as much as possible. It's the best education you can get. So, um, anyway, thank you so much again for your time. I hope this answers some of your questions. I'm sorry to talk so much, but hopefully we'll be seeing some of you again soon. Bye.